Hello my friends, welcome to Pro-Am Strings. I'm Henriette and this is lesson 9 in the All for Strings Violin for Beginners course. And in this lesson today we're going to build on what we learned in lesson 8. So if you haven't already watched lesson 8, please do so before you watch lesson 9. And in this lesson we're going to learn the second finger. And by the end of the lesson you should feel comfortable playing the second finger on the D string and also reading the note and know its letter name. So let's go ahead and let's get started. For this lesson I have got another finger line on my finger. So if yours is gone since the last lesson, please write another one just to indicate where your finger line is. And then I'm going to place my violin up on my shoulder. Then I'm going to check that my finger line is level with the E string. I'm also checking again that my thumb is just peeking over the edge and it's going to be opposite my index finger when I place it in a second. And then I'm going to really push out my left wrist. In our previous lesson we learned how to sing the note, so let's play that and I'll talk you through as we go along. So we're playing a D first with a long bow. My first finger, 2 is my second finger. Shall we play that again? Sing along if you like. Here's D. D. 1, 2. That's it. Now we have discovered in lesson 8 that from D to E was a whole step. From E to F sharp, as this second finger is called, is also a whole step. Later on I will tell you why this note is called F sharp and not F, but let's leave that for now. Life is complicated enough already when you learn to play the second finger, so just accept from me that this note is called F sharp. Now when you place your second finger, you add it to your first finger. So you don't take away your first finger when you add the second finger. No, you leave your first finger in place like this. D. Place your first finger. And now leave your first finger down while you play the second finger. 2. So now I've got 2 fingers on the string, and that encourages me to learn to feel the distance between finger 1 and finger 2. And in the long run, your fingers are going to get used to what I call the geography of the fingerboard. You're learning the spacings between each individual finger. So this is very important to bear in mind. So to add a higher finger to a lower one and try to resist lifting the lower finger up. Let's check again the placing of your finger line, your thumb, and push your wrist out again, and we'll do the exact same thing again. Here we go. D. Place your first finger. La. Place your second finger. La. Take all your fingers away and we'll do it again. D. 1, 2. Awesome. Now this time can you sing the letter names? Here we go. D. E. F sharp. Amazing, amazing playing. Well done. Now let's have a look now in your book on page 19, and we're going to take a look at exercise 33. And in this exercise I'd like you to practice leaving your fingers down. I'll count us in for 4, but before we start to play, check over your finger line, your thumb, and push your wrist out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just hold it here a moment, and the second finger is going to to sound like this. Leave your first finger down and wow, that was very, very clever playing. Let's have a go at exercise 34 as well now. Now when we play exercise 34, we might as well just test our fingers before the start. So first of all, I'm checking my positioning of my left hand, and then I'm playing D. So I know where my fingers are going to go, and that's going to help my tune quite a lot. Now when we play exercise 34, I want you to focus on two things. First of all, leave your first finger down when you add the second finger. We've come across that before. And secondly, whenever you lift that second finger up, make sure that you just hover it just free from the string, but don't lift it up all the way. Okay, so your finger stays hovering above its spot where it needs to come down, because it will come down the second time in this same piece, you see. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was awesome playing, really well done. And initially, in the first couple of days when you practice this, try not to repeat this, because this is tiring enough for your left hand as it is, just to play it one go. Take regular breaks and swing your left arm like this, so that your arm can get enough blood flowing again. Because you're doing fantastically well learning those fingers so quickly. Let's play exercise 35 next. And when we play exercise 35, I would like you to focus on something else again. You remember we put a marker in the middle of your bow to indicate up to where your short notes are going to go. So your quarter notes go up to the middle of your bow. And this time, I want to shift away our focus slightly from the left hand to the bow, because the bow is the part of violin playing that makes your music sing. So whilst we're focusing on the left hand fingers, yes, it needs to be in tune and it needs to be with a good position, but we want it to sound really beautifully as well. So we're giving a little bit of attention to the bow as well. So let's check your finger line. Let's check your thumb. Let's check your wrist. And I'll count us in for 4. Let's get ready on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. And you'll find that it has been quite likely that your playing has moved from this end of the bow to maybe this section of the bow. It's not the end of the world for today, but when you practice this again, perhaps you can try going all the way back to the heel of the bow as you play from the middle to the heel. Good job. Now, so far we have started on pieces that begin on a D, so we can build up D, 1, 2. But of course not every piece is like that, and sometimes you start on the first finger or you start on the second finger even. And this is an example of exercise 36 where you start on the second finger. And we always have to test our fingers before we find our starting note. And you can see the mini notes in your music. They indicate your testing of your fingers. So first of all you test your position of your left hand, and then you go T, 1, 2. So you see I connect with my singing again. And now I'm leaving my finger down on the string because I'm now ready. I've found the tuning of my second finger and I can start. Now something else, something new that I'd like you to focus on as well is these two fingers. I see this quite a lot. Can you hoist your fingers up so that they are going to be nearer the fingerboard? Because before too long we're going to use those fingers as well, you see. So we need to wake them up already and not get into a habit of playing like this. So have your fingers hovering. Now you'll see that after 2 bars in exercise 36, you've got a bar rest. That is the time to practice your fingers again and get them all in the right places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take your time to test your fingers and rest. 2, practice your fingers. Make sure your first finger is also on the string and so now you've played with a superb technique. Well done you. You've made excellent progress today. Practice all of these exercises frequently. So maybe 3 times every exercise and then repeat all of that tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Because these are basics that are going to stand you in good stead for the rest of your violin playing career. So you're doing fantastically well. I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Goodbye.